Plastic pollution is a global issue that grows as more plastic is produced. It's so common, you've probably seen hundreds of images just like this and examples in real life. It seems impossible to ever really solve the problem. Every single-use plastic item that can't be recycled has to go somewhere. Most often, that's a landfill. Unfortunately, mismanagement of recycling infrastructure often leads to more pollution. But how can so much plastic be produced and not be recycled? Many of us have seen the popular Chasing Arrows logo and assume that means an item is recyclable. Although that is correct in theory, it's not that simple in practice. Many technically recyclable materials can't be processed in standard infrastructure, so they clog up the recycling stream when they're mixed in with valuable materials. WishCycling happens when you want something to be recyclable, even though it isn't. So despite your best efforts, you've probably caused other potentially recyclable items to be contaminated and sent to a landfill. So what can we do to combat a problem that's out of our control? We can start by learning more about the materials. Research shows that most consumers know relatively little about the plastics they use every day. Generally, recycling is seen as good, though learning all the rules is tedious, and most people don't take the time to absorb and process all that information. So we wanted to find out what consumers think about their ability to recycle, and whether they could be incentivized to learn nuances about plastics when varying items are assigned points based on real-life material value. We also wanted to challenge the idea that learning recycling procedures is boring. So the entire process was reframed as an interactive game, aptly titled WishCycle. Each item carries a predetermined amount of points that players earn when that item is recycled correctly. Rice Krispie, the recycle raccoon, is there to guide players through the process and react to their decisions. Instead of focusing on recycling, the goal is to get Rice Krispie points and find the magic wand to win. The game doubles as a data collection tool. The time it takes a player to make a decision, and whether that decision is correct or not, is recorded and reviewed by the researcher on the back end. The data generated reveals how people interact with post-consumer plastics and whether preferences exist. Borrowing the structure from other non-educational games, WishCycle uses competitive elements to engage players. It was hypothesized that those tacit details we subconsciously pick up from everyday virtual interactions could be leveraged to help players learn real-life recycling rules with immediate feedback. The experiment revealed people will passively learn by playing the game. Overall, confidence improved after playing, though a healthy level of skepticism is beneficial, as players who registered a low level of trust in infrastructure tended to perform better. WishCycle is an ongoing experiment, as the findings from the data collection module will inform how the game develops. Future levels will be influenced by players' input through the democratic Build a Story feature. When feedback is pooled, popular themes determine how the next levels appear and what new challenges will be added in. Also in the future, points from the game will translate to real-world rewards. WishCycle is just one iteration of the game structure, and in-context adaptations are easily modified. A grocery store provides the ideal consumer environment where players of all ages will be exposed to various plastics and can become better informed to recycle responsibly.